Get ready. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, as members of this House are aware, the Industries Development and Regulation Act was enacted in 1951. The object of that measure was to bring within the jurisdiction of the Union Government certain industries of all India importance and to provide a machinery by which these industries could be developed and regulated in conformity with the national plans. This act actually came into force in May 1952. In 1953, certain amendments were made to this act mainly for the purpose of removing certain practical difficulties that had come to light in the working of the measure and for the inclusion of certain additional industries in the first schedule to the act. Honorable members of this House might remember that when the Industries Development and Regulation Act was originally enacted in 1951, some apprehensions were entertained and expressed in some quarters that this measure might interfere unduly with the working of the industries and might even retard the progress and growth of the industrial development of the country. This measure has now worked for over 4 years and we are in a position to take stock of the situation and, if I may say so, the way in which this act has been working during this period goes to show that the original apprehensions were largely unfounded. In fact, there has of late been a demand from the public that the scope of the act should be enlarged with a view to including therein some more industries. As a matter of fact, sir, more and more requests are pouring in from the industries themselves that some of them may be brought within the purview of the act. Before coming to the subject matter of the bill before the House, I might mention briefly some of the salient facts about the working of this measure during the last 4 years. As laid down in Section 5 of this Act, a Central Advisory Council of Industries has been established consisting of representatives of industries, labor consumers and primary producers pertaining to the scheduled industries. This body has held 7 meetings so far and advised government on problems relating to the scheduled industries. Sir, with your permission, I take this opportunity of extending my grateful thanks to the members of this council for their advice. The provisions of the Industries Act relating to the grant of registration for existing undertakings and licenses for new ventures have been working very smoothly. Over 3,000 industrial undertakings pertaining to the scheduled industries have been registered under the Act and about 1,400 licenses have been issued for establishment of new industrial undertakings, substantial expansions and manufacture of new articles which were hitherto not manufactured in the country. A licensing committee has been set up for the examination of the applications received for this purpose. This committee acts as the main instrument of the government's industrial policy and tries to secure a planned development of industries according to the government's policy. As the House is aware, the Central Advisory Council of Industries has set up a subcommittee to review the working of the licensing committee from time to time. First, the application comes to the licensing committee, on which sit the representatives of the different state governments, of the different ministries, of the planning commission and officers of this ministry. That application is considered from all aspects of resources. Then, when the license is issued or rejected, the party, if necessary, appeals to the minister concerned for review of any decision, and that decision becomes final. Over and above that, this reviewing committee set up by the Central Advisory Council, which is an integral part of the statute, reviews whether the rejection or acceptance is fair or not. And sir, I can assure the House that every time we have taken into consideration the observations of the reviewing committee for or against any of the applications which have been rejected or accepted. This committee, which is presided over by Honorable Pandit H.N. Kunjru, has so far held 4 meetings and reviewed the work of the licensing committee. I am happy to inform this House that at the last meeting of the subcommittee, the members have expressed appreciation of the thorough and prompt manner in which the licensing committee has generally dealt with applications. Coming to the subject of the bill before us, you will observe that the Act as it stands now applies to industries which are listed in the first schedule. As I have stated, there has been a demand from the public that the scope of the Act should be extended so as to include a number of other important industries. It has been pointed out that certain industries which are closely related to those already included in the schedule do not find a place in the schedule, and it is a great lacuna in the Act.